Welcome in to the first round of the Titan Immortal League playoffs. Our matchup tonight is between Akuma, final boss, and Lane Zero Inferno. I'm Isaac. Joining me alongside for this broadcast tonight is Ozzy. And before we get into this one, Ozzy, I know you had a graphic prepared that you wanted to show to talk about this series coming up.
Hello, welcome in. Yeah, of course we got our weekly graphic. I really hate to break it to you all, but unfortunately going into next week, there will not be a top lane graphic. As we started the graphics a little bit too late, I thought I had one more week of buffer room, but I did not. So,
Hey.
and the idea came to me a little bit too slow. So we're gonna get into jungles, things to focus on, and you're probably noticing the formula has changed a little bit from normal. Because usually we're talking about other roles and the champions that we want to see played. Well, jungle, it kind of feels weird to be like, yeah, play J4 Vi. You've been doing this for 5 seasons. Keep doing that, So I didn't want to do that for jungle.
Hey, we've had a few brand metas for singular patches in between.
True, but unfortunately not right now. So, first things first, we're gonna look at a concept I'd like junglers to focus on in these playoffs. And it's playing with your support and mid laner. You're thinking about the 2v2. Well, now the 3v3 is really prevalent with mages bot lane and the roaming supports. So that ability to kind of free up your support has led to some adventures across the map, we'll say, by the support.
Some magical journeys, perhaps.
And paired, some magical journeys paired with the jungler. So get with your supports, right? Go run the map. Go be proactive. Subvert expectations. Gank top lane on a level 3 with your support. Don't actually do that, but regardless, play with your teammates. As it turns out, it is a team game, so get active. Now we do still have some underrated jungle picks. I do have a couple of things here. Kindred, only as a counter into Trundle. I think that's great, especially if you draft a team comp in which you get priority. So you can actually get away with invading. Please do not draft Kindred in a game where you have no pushing lanes. You will just get destroyed. Mundo will be the highlight, so we'll move on to Qiyana. Qiyana is just a great answer to J4, has been since Qiyana Jungle was super meta in the past, and also rose up in priority at MSI because of J4 being so prevalent. So there's that. And as for Mundo, pretty good blind pick right now, because he's very flexible. If you're Zeus, you're playing it in the top lane. If you're Paige, you're playing it in the bot lane as an answer to mages. So this champ can go 3 roles. And if you get a bad matchup, you can just put it in the jungle, because the jungle matchup does not matter whatsoever. Again, still important that you try to find a good game for it, which is why it's underrated. I think it's underrated, just don't overpick it. So keep your eyes out on Mundo, because he's going to go where he pleases, and it's probably to your Nexus, pushing all the way there. And the last thing is still going to be our overall gameplay to note. There's been a pretty decent job from some teams in playoffs from cross-mapping, most notably Dorado Gaming Alpha, who did end up winning their series yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, 3-0.
Sometimes early. 3-0, so... that's one of the better macro teams we have here. But if you're weaker on macro, you need to think about cross-mapping in general, because you're just giving things away for free and not doing anything with it, right? Really popular trades, Grubs for Dragon, right? Because early, doing Drake right at 5 minutes is basically not really all that possible without wasting a lot of time. Doing it when grubs spawn, so you aren't wasting time because the other jungler is wasting their time to do grubs. Perfect timer to do it. So trade grubs, trade Rift Herald for some towers, right? And then avoid trading Baron if you can, unless you're gonna get an absurd, massive swing of gold in response to a Baron. Sure, maybe, but. And the last thing, of course, proactivity. I talked about it with playing with your supports, but we're still seeing people not being proactive. They try to react, and it just doesn't work. We're in a game where we're kind of in this mid-game kind of meta, right? Especially the mage's bot lane really aiding that. So if you're sleeping trying to wait for your late game to happen, you're just not going to get there. If you go down 3 dragons, 9 times out of 10 you're losing the game anyways. because then you have to force this like weird fight on the 4th dragon to try and hope to God you can win it. And 9 times out of 10, the enemy team is going to have that prepped up because they've already had that much control in the game for so long. So get active. That's all I'm asking. And I think hopefully Isaac can now butt in. Welcome.
Yeah, the only thing I had was a handful of quips, but you're wrapping off your thing, and I didn't want to upset the flow of it, as it is in fact Ozzy and Gebetto's playoff acoustic success, and I didn't have any insight on this front. Unfortunately, Gebetto is feeling a little bit under the weather, so here I am getting to fill in for this one. But in terms of, that's a general approach to all the teams I want to see. In terms of actual teams that are playing Akuma Final Boss, 7-0 throughout the regular season. Not only 7-0, but 14-0 coming into the playoffs, Ozzy. I mean, you're talking about proactivity. I mean, they're certainly... Yeah, I know, right?
What
like,
more can you
don't lose. That's
Just
the other key. That's the keys to success is don't lose. And clearly, Akuma Final Boss have had no interest in that front.
Hey, I mean, to be honest, they've looked phenomenal all split. But again, sometimes that's just always that, like, ill omen looming over a team. They do so well, but every other team catches up to them when playoffs start. It's just like this, like, switch flips for teams. As for their opponents today, very tumultuous up-and-comers, Lane Zero Inferno. Definitely have not had the easiest times getting here, but they did. So that's what counts. I think the expectation, for a majority of people, myself included, should be a 3-0 for Akuma Final Boss. But what a historic playoff collapse this would be if Akuma Final Boss did drop to Lane Zero. That would be impressive. That would be impressive.
It would definitely go up against the script of what we've had planned for this one so far. Especially given my own personal history with Akuma as an organization and casting leagues that they're in. Every single time I seem to be in a league that has Akuma in it, it's like, oh, shoot, well, there they go, winning yet another championship. And, well... but the expectation is obviously that this one won't be any different at all. And also on a previous point that you mentioned, as dropped a little magical journey from the support jungle. Jeez, you know what? Support jungle.
Mid-support jungle, all right, 3v3.
Mid-support jungle. Yeah, 3v3. But anyway, the point is, dropped the magical journey, fails on Akuma Final Boss. Their support, very much a bard player, and in terms of getting on the map and getting involved, I mean, it's probably one of the best champs to do it.
Yeah, honestly, bard, great support. Pick that champ. Very fun champ to play as well, if you play support.
Or it's always fun to
if you don't even play support, literally just rip a bard game. Just go play support. Rip a bard game. Run away from your AD carry, make them mad. Run down the game, have fun. That's the whole point of the champ. Hopefully here that doesn't happen though. Now, what do I want to... I mean, it is jungle week, so I guess we're going to jungle week. Like I said, unfortunately for the top laners, since I had this idea for the graphic a little bit too late, there will not be a top laner one. Next week we're going to be shifting into... Hopefully Jack is back. We're going to be both making our graphic for one of each team playing against each other. So... to kind of hype up those matches. What key points we'd like to see from them. Obviously, it's going to be a collaborative effort. So, from everything we've gotten to know about these teams over the last however many weeks, like this is week number 8 technically. So
8, I believe, yeah.
So it'll be 8 full weeks that we've been able to look at these teams. So, anyways, hopefully we'll get into the draft soon. Enough stalling, yapping, wah. But at the same time, wouldn't surprise me if they're stalling, you know?
I mean, it's the absolute classic. I mean, whenever you see the 5 o'clock, it's never an 8 p.m. start time. Despite what the schedule might tell you, despite what all the listings. Hey, wait, hold on. We're actually getting in. That's good to see you straight away. So, Akuma Final Boss, as obviously 14-0, our first seed, our expected favorites for the championship, get side selection, and As a result, they've gone on blue side. First ban they take away is the lock, so definitely looking like they have no interest in playing it themselves throughout the series.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're in, and yeah, the lock. You did ask if it was available, and it is.
Yeah, I did. This is true.
If you've been keeping track, also, lock is completely undefeated at Kespa Cup right now, which is, yeah.
Yeah, I know he's been disgusting.
Granted, Kespa Cup, kind of a Mickey Mouse tournament, so a lot of teams play their like tier 2 players to get them some experience. It's like a hodgepodge, usually, of rosters, to try and just to field rosters in general and give some of their tier 1 players a break. And again,
Cupid
it's also
played
there
it today in ACL as well, and that champ's disgusting. Like, just like actually, there's basically zero chance that he's not going to get nerfed going into next patch. But focusing on what is in front of us, the Mundo, one of your highlights of this patch or of this week of this playoffs, going to be taken away by the side of LZI. So you get into the picks. Camille, likely going to be a support pick, as that's where she seems to be played the most these days. And as a response, LZI are going to pick up Leona in response.
Yeah, the thing about Camille, and I'm kind of shocked it hasn't really taken off in turn, is like she's still flexible. Like you can play her top lane if you get a good matchup. And there have been instances where I'm like, man, Camille top looks so good here.
Whoa.
But the strength of the Camille in support is actually so crazy that it's so hard to try to pull it away. Now, we'll end up seeing if Trey Dog on the Leona does make that a little bit of a problem. Also, the Olaf can be flexible as well, because he did get some jungle buffs before MSI happened. So that could still technically be Steve Jackson's, but it's up in the air for right now. The J4 does kind of make Olaf a little sad, though, because, well, Olaf can't run at your backline if he's stuck in a little cage. So good drafting, I think, from LZI at least. I'm still worried about the Leona. I won't lie, the Leona is a little bit worrying. But other than that, they've got a solid draft so far.
Yeah, but on the side of Akuma Final Boss, they've obviously gone for the classic Galio Camille. He dropped the Hextech ultimatum, and then you can no longer go anywhere. And then over top your head comes Galio to extend the CC for what feels like forever. It is a classic for a reason. AFB going to be going for it, and there's a pretty easy target to look at with the Ziggs. They're going to be looking for a hook shot in and making sure that Ziggs can get on. Ari, I mean, inside a Hextech ultimatum, despite how many dashes she has, also going to be pretty vulnerable as well.
Yeah, point and click ability, pretty good against champions that are mobile, as it turns out, and it will be Zeri, actually, so there has been some talk about Zeri being decent into mages. Most notably, even though her all-in at level 6 got super nerfed because they wanted to move her back in more of like the move speed kind of fantasy. It's still pretty strong, especially against a mage who only has satchel charge. So if you can get on top of him, connect your W to slow him down, then there's a world where you can kind of take over the lane at that point at level 6. The Zehen, I hate Zehen blind because it always opens you up to Jax. Like,
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating to see Zehen be blind picked like this because again, Jax is just always looming in the corner. Like, yeah, pick. But comes down to execution, I suppose, as well.
Yeah, I also don't know if the flexibility between the Olaf and the Zehen is going to be all that much better into the Jax either. So, so you can't even cope with that angle.
Hey, look,
it's just going to be rough no matter what you've got. Yeah.
Look, at least with Olaf, he can kind of poke out the Jax with Q. So
true. That. You're right.
There is that, but so the Zehen matchup in theory is actually worse. For like if they were to pick, if I were going to pick, unironically, I probably would put Olaf top because I think having your Zehen be able to play this game is incredibly important. Also, I'm just thinking to myself, R5 Malphite would have gone insane here. I didn't see that angle. That's all right. That's all good.
Yeah, a
lot Honestly, I feel like
of
Malphite would have
80.
done great in their comp as well. More CC layering for the Ziggs bomb as well. But doesn't really matter, as LZI don't really have the most physical damage on their team either. So kind of a magic damage comp versus a physical damage comp going head to head here. In game number 1 between Akuma Final Boss and Lane Zero Inferno, and I'm excited, but man, this is a tragic drawing for Lane Zero Inferno. They worked so hard to get here. They barely snuck in just to be slammed with the Akuma Final Boss in the first round. You know,
That's typically how it goes, unfortunately, for these teams that make it in at the last moment. Obviously, when you have a I guess power of 2 bracket like we have, a single elimination bracket we have here in the Titan Immortal League for the playoffs, that's just how it's going to go. And especially as you mentioned, Akuma Final Boss being as dominant as they have been so far this season, Lane Zero Inferno will definitely have a big test coming in this one. Oh, it is actually upchuck on the Olaf with the flex there.
that's Barry actually.
Oh,
That's pretty interesting.
yeah, that's not what you see typically from top laners in general. And in that front, so we'll see how that plays out for upchuck in the end. I mean, typically the Olaf, you want to see often the Ghost to be able to just Ragnarok and then run super fast onto, well, I guess it'd be the Ziggs in this case.
Well, good trading. Drax definitely not necessarily known for his early game. Usually comes online once he gets a spout.
Upchuck. Oh, okay, he just has lethal. All right, first blood, upchuck, and Akuma Final Boss.
I mean, I don't know what to. I don't even know what to say. Like, Trey Dog is just sitting there, just not. I hope Trey Dog was lagging. That's basically all I can say. Because like, what do you mean you die to a basic attack as Drax with your EO?
Was it up? I mean, the only assumption.
There's no way it was on cooldown. Like, there's no way.
Before we get to that, Holes is going to try to find a gank onto upchuck. Flag drag getting ready. Counter strike finds a stun.
Oh.
Very easily set up for Trey Dog to bring it back level.
All right, so that's what it is. Overconfidence for the Olaf to then go for a gank. I see. Smart.
Of course.
Yeah, giving over an additional 100 gold. Actually, very smart.
Yeah.
Well, at the very least, upchuck doesn't use any summoner spell, so we'll have the barrier should there be another engagement. Now, Scuttle Crab, it's not going to be contested on the top side by the J4 because that gank did put him behind in terms of the clear speed. He's actually going to maybe look for another gank top here.
Yeah, upchuck. 4 forward again on the Olaf. Might have some of course, I say he starts walking back forward again. So Holes getting a flag drag ready. Upchuck does have flash. Will use it to dodge out the flag drag. Leap strike forward, gets the stun. Upchuck's barrier not going to save him. A second kill goes to the hands of Trey Dog.
Not the prettiest, but it did work.
It worked.
So good regank there. From Halls. Definitely did not need to flash. But we'll get double scuttled here, which really not that ideal as J4. Definitely wanting to look for your ultimate. Now, the Zeri, not necessarily the best gank target, but there are some worlds where you can actually gank the Galio to try and kill him. Once you have ult available. Man, yeah, this could be ult damage. Pretty insane, right?
Yep. That is, especially with Hail of Blades as well, going to help out a bit. Taunt going to find its way onto Deeker, but the Charm also going to hit, so relatively even there. But yeah, I mean, the Camille, it really just is a disgusting support champ. The latest tech, the flavor of the week is very spicy, I'll say.
Ooh, that's tough. I like the positioning there from the Leona to try and actually bait the Camille into an engage to try and make that a favorable trade for them, but does not land the Zenith Blade, which is unfortunate, as Wave in top lane is going to shove back towards the Jax once more. But those two ganks top really bailed him out of a horrible position. I won't lie. I won't lie.
Yeah.
But something to keep in mind about Olaf is that while you can gank Olaf and you can kind of put it behind in the 1v1, when teamfights come to, like, fruition, like, he's still gonna basically get away on top of your Ziggs unless you J4 ult him. So, and the Ziggs will die to that guy. So,
Yes.
it doesn't really
that
matter
is-
how far behind he is. The Ziggs will die to it, so...
Yes.
yeah.
As long
Hopefully
as
it's
you
not time
can.
wasted.
Fortnite going to be thought about to potentially have been engaged on, but just takes a little bit too long. Paul's Brash is still here. Immediate flash away from Deeger, has used the Spirit Rush. Zenith Blade in, won't quite get the stun onto Falls, but they're only going to turn to look onto Fortnite. Starting to cast the Spirit Rush, not quite going to be able to find the kill onto the Galio.
I wonder if Decker there thought that the Camille was closer and was worried about, like, the E flash. That flash felt, like, really uncharacteristic there. Level 6 Scuttle Crab. Not needed at all, by the way.
Oh, Steve Jackson just going to steal away the Subtle Crab. Then in return, hits his way onto Halls, but a flag drag away will ensure that the Jarvan does get out. Drake is up. There's a push in the bot lane in favor of Akuma. Final boss will be started up by AFB. And it looks like it's going to be going their way pretty comfortably.
Yeah, should be easy peasy lemon squeezy on that one. As Trey Dog, man, please do not get dove.
Yeah, the wave is very low. Oh! I was about to say he's got the counter strike. Doesn't matter. He's not an auto attack. And so the damage comes through, and yet another solo kill. Gets at the hands of Upchuck.
Yeah, Trey Dog is just eating all of this, like, Q-poke from the Olaf. Which is why it's kind of a trickier matchup for Jax, because, like, again, Olaf's strengths being able to auto-attack you, really annoying to deal with when you don't have a counter-strike, and that's why, obviously, Jax is so good into it. But if you are eating all of these axes, you will just lose outright in the early game. Like, that's just the unfortunate nature of the champ. Decker, no flash. No Spear Rush here for a second. They did not see the J4. Brash is getting traded on, but is going to be able to walk that one away. And Void Grub's now on the Rift here, and I'm hoping that we see Akuma Final Boss able to claim those as some off-tempo bases here. Should give way to some free Void Grubbies.
Yep, and Hall's still needing to clear out his topside jungle. Bale's arriving first. All these things will accumulate into a very comfortable Grubs take for his side of Akuma Final Boss. Put them even further ahead. Now they are 700 gold up, a large portion of that which is in the hands of Upchuck, considering those 2 solo kills, despite having been visited twice by the jungler.
Yeah, and now it's a Vamp Scepter here in the inventory for Upchuck, Trey Dog. Yeah, like, this is the thing, right? When he goes for these trades, a really nice backstep there from Upchuck as well to avoid the counter-strike. Trey Dog not that confident utilizing the leap strike to get in range there for the stun. Knowing Upchuck does have ult, so if he utilizes his only escape option outside of Flash, he's probably going to die. Although,
Ragnarok popped. Counter-strike stun not going to go through. Trade of ultimates between Upchuck and Trey Dog, but no kills.
But Upchuck still winning out in that trade overall. Also has barrier. So if he does go for a dive here, he's gonna have barrier.
Oh. On under tower, no Ragnarok this time.
Oh.
Flashing forward, traded
Oh,
back.
barrier.
The ranking up tower does get the kill. Barrier enough to save Upchuck. Just barely. But close only accounts in hand shoes and horse grenades. So Upchuck going to pick up his third solo kill without a response from Trey Dog.
I'm so glad I called out the barrier, man.
Actually, such an insane pick. We were looking at it and had a few question marks, but definitely going to help out
so
Upchuck a
funny.
bunch in that one.
Oh man, that just barely as well. He lived at such low
Yeah.
HP. So genuine barrier difference there, which is absurd. Just a small trade in the mid lane here. Fortnite gonna get the better of that one. That's kind of how it starts to go. Or he doesn't have the best response to Galio, the tankier he gets. So kind of allows the Galio to just be on top of you because he's so tanky. Doesn't have to care about tanking your damage that much.
Yeah.
So right now, Lane 0 Inferno, I mean, they need to do something quickly to get themselves in a position to win this game, because right now, they've lost both objectives. Their top lane counter matchup, I'm more so going to call it a skill matchup, is losing pretty hard. And you put all of your attention towards trying to get this Jax bailed out from the first blood, and with the Jax getting solo killed now twice in a row, that initial early time wasted by Halls has basically been nullified.
I think it's a little bit more than nullified to like just flip on its head.
Maybe a bit more, you know. Maybe a bit more than that, but.
Well, anyway, the play might try to be onto Fortnite. Trey Dog waiting in the bush. Justice Punch forward will not give an avenue out. 4 members mid lane to kill off this Galio. The flash away to try to survive won't be enough. Hull's the one to claim it.
All right. Well, not bad. Not bad play there. I talked about the strength of that. Trey Dog still does need to be mindful.
He's got his lead strike. It's fine.
You know, still got to be mindful as they are looking on bot lane here, but nice little E there from Reze to get away safely. Now Drake has spawned in, and they have the positioning here, but while Trey Dog is here, they are burning so much time losing top waves here.
Yeah.
That, like, I'm sure Akuma Final Boss are more than happy with this trade. Oh,
unless we go in really deep to try to find a way in onto vertically, and then get the kill, turn back onto Brash, make it two quick kills that go into the hands of Reze. And so Akuma Final Boss, as you said, more than happy with the outcome of of Upchuck just being left alone in the top lane. Also going to get 2 kills in, I mean, not really effectively a 4v5, but considering how much percent down that you could say it was that much. Upchuck trying to find the kill onto Trey Dog before he dies. Won't be successful. Shutdown goes to the hands of the Jax.
yeah, big play around the bot lane there from Akuma. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Verticality.
He doesn't even hold the wave.
Wait a second. He's fine. He's got this kill. Fails. Going to have to flash away. Still pressing under the tower. Finally, Akuma Final Boss get the kill. But it definitely could have been a lot cleaner.
Oh my god, that was actually so close. But verticality just enough. TP's back.
Flag drag. Finds Fortnite. Zenith Blade stun. Inside the Cataclysm. Nowhere for the Scalio to go. Hull is going to pick up a second kill of the game.
Well, will in fact be a kill on the Galio. So, unfortunately, verticality dies in that bot lane play. They initially send it with the Hextech Ultimatum, layered with the Hero's Entrance, which pays off really big. Reze able to pick up 2 kills off of that. All because
I don't think Trey Dog wants to be here.
Surely
Counter-Strike Sun comes through, and yeah. That is what a 2-level advantage and 3 solo kills does for you, despite the shutdown that Trey Dog picked up earlier. That is, I think all four kills were solo kills. No, for Upchuck, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. That's true. That's fact checked and true and real. Truth nuke there from Isaac. as Upchuck is having a great day. Having a great day so far. Great start to the series. But LZI, like I said, they need to find something quick. They're finding some success at least punishing Fortnite on the Galio. But if the J4 is the one getting the kills, that guy is unfortunately not carrying this game. So
yeah,
I need a bit more than that.
Charm hits Fortnite. Deeker going to Spirit Rush away just to keep himself alive. Won't lose any health. Very preemptive, and well, it's not the longest cooldown ever, so it really won't mind that.
Yeah. So Upchuck now in the pot lane. While
Yeah.
Rift Herald is being done by his team. And this is kind of like an Akuma final boss, like probably chokes you out of the game angle, at least. That's what, you know, like that's kind of the MO here in game number 1. Just choke them out of resources until inevitably you win, because LZI are so far behind this early in the game.
Yeah.
They can't really respond to you. Like, it's a 4K lead. No one can truly side lane against this Olaf without it being a massive potential problem. Where that person ends up going down. The Ziggs at least has some wave clear, so that's nice. But again, all the focus on top lane to try and get Trey in a good position or in a better fighting position has completely failed. So
yeah, that's
all the time has been wasted. And they to no gain. There's been literally no gain to it because, as I mentioned, like it's not like the Jax is really doing anything anymore in the side lane. And in fact, has been solo killed, as you mentioned, 4 times in this game.
Yeah, and maybe a 5th. Upchuck arriving in top lane. Oh, it's all going to be a solo kill, but it's very likely going to be a 5th for Upchuck. Hextech Ultimatum drops onto Trey Dog to ensure he can't get away. One more E. Oh, actually, not even going to need that. Flash with the ball. Oh, there it goes. Upchuck from downtown with the Q will claim yet another kill on to Trey Dog, but moving down straight to the bot lane. Charm from the shielded around, not quite going to hit the mark onto Fortnite, who flashes out of the flag drag, but Cataclysm is inescapable. Deeker wanting to get the kill.
Oh, nice little kill there on the Ahri, so that's something at least. Mid lane will in fact survive as well, but again, all this time this Jax isn't on the map, it is really hurting LCI. Like, the lead now for Upchuck is just absurd here on the Olaf. It's a 2-level lead, which he's already had. It's probably a little bit more than that 2-level lead. Should probably tick over to 15 shortly. And the pressure he's putting into the side lane can't really be matched. But
flag drag, trying to find its way onto Fails. Lightning Crash used by Reze to start auto away. Fails finally goes down. Grand entrance from Fortnite, not quite going to find its way onto anybody. Taunt gets the mark onto Reze. Trey Dog trying to kill off this Zeri, just won't quite be successful. Meanwhile, Upchuck running in the backline doesn't care. It is all going the way of Akuma final boss. At the very least, shutdown gets in the hands of Deeker, but Fortnite still going forward. Picks up the kill onto Verticality, making it 4-for-1 for Akuma final boss, and expanding their lead to 6K to over 6K gold.
Hey, it was technically a 4v2, alright? Fails did die at the start of that play. Technically. But okay. That's about as good as it goes, alright? That's about as good as it's gonna happen.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
It's gonna flash,
well, they get the flash.
So, guess what? It's gonna be able to E away from the next Cataclysm, so... That's even if there will be a next... Ooh, they are keeping their
teleport in. Deeker's going to hold onto the charm. Has enough damage alone to not need it. Shutdown goes in the hands of the Ahri, and Halls will actually be the one to claim it. Probably would have wanted to give that one over to Deeker, but still 2 kills go to the hands of LZI.
Hey, most important one goes to the Ahri, so that's what matters. Is Trey Dog backsteps this taunt here, but move speed gets Fortnite.
Okay, Upchuck just runs into the middle of 4 with Steve Jackson to think of a double kill. I mean, alright. Steve Jackson goes over the wall. Verticality is surely going to get hit by the knockup real soon. There it goes.
Oh!
Pulls him back. Oh, the off the dreaded return! Verticality just gives up. I mean, couldn't have asked any more out of Steve Jackson. Getting Verticality out of Satchel Charge is just perfect from him. Absolutely picture perfect.
I mean, that was a good buffer from the W as well, because if he doesn't buffer W there, he's going to get knocked up, meaning he can't cast his W during the knockup, so quite literally perfect there. Is Steve Jackson going to be able to get the Baron now for his team? Well, we'll see if he actually gets it. Maybe he'll let one of his teammates get it, because there's no smite here. Insane steal possibility? Oh.
No. Brash, I mean,
Brash
valiant effort. Does actually manage to get out of range of the dreaded return, so is all right. But Baron in the hands of Akuma final boss. Quick math, that is about 6.5k gold up at 20.5 minutes with Baron. Is not ideal. Not ideal for lane 0.
Yeah. Could be worse, you know, just a small little lead here for Akuma.
Yeah, just, yeah.
Small tad bit of a lead, definitely. They definitely are still not holding all 3 of their tier 1s with objective bounties. Decker now on the Ahri. That's the one highlight. They're going to go on to...
play does go in. The option is try to out Fails, who still manages to escape. Rezi now going to hit the lightning crash to try to counterpunch. Going forward. Hold up. I mean, he's just going to revive it anyway. Rezi gets the kill on to Deeker. Trey-Dog soon to follow Steve Jackson, the one to claim it. Didn't matter that they were able to get Steve Jackson's health bar down to 0 because you've got a built-in revive on the Zahin. Fails not even going to die there as Verticality goes down, making it 4-0. I would try to use the caster curse fairly, but I think it's pretty safe to say that this is game. Very comfortably going in the hands of Akuma final boss.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, this is the expected outcome, right?
Yeah.
So, man, it is so absurd what Akuma final boss has been doing this entire split. And my worries about, you know, like, series collapses in playoffs and, you know, right now at least, not even on the table.
Yeah.
Akuma final boss, looking just as strong as they have for the last 7 weeks. Making this into their 8th. Game number 1. Handedly going over to Akuma final boss. Upchuck solo killing the Jax 5 times in that game. Absurd effort there. And then, of course, everything else just needed to not fall apart, and that's exactly what happened for Akuma. So well played to them.
Now that's 5 solo kills after getting ganked twice and dying early as well. Just did not care. It is that simple. I mean, there's nothing else. There's really nothing else to add other than 12k gold lead at 22 minutes when the Nexus goes. Right, like, I think that encapsulates this game perfectly. So I think with that, we are going to send it to a short break, but when we come back, we'll be ready to go for game 2. Hopefully, Lane 0 Inferno can change something up to step up to the title favorites coming into these playoffs, because that was very much all Akuma final boss, and we'll see if that stays that way after this break. And after what was a domineering performance from Akuma Final Boss in Game 1, we are back for Game 2 for their matchup against Lane 0 Inferno. And, well, it was, yeah, there's no other way to put it than domineering. 22-minute victory.
Yeah.
I just leave it at that. And,
yeah, look,
yeah.
sometimes our job is to cope. Sometimes our job is to be honest. And sometimes we're left with nothing but the ability to be honest. And yeah, that one was a stomp, just straight through and through. Again, it is expected, right? Again, Akuma has not dropped a single game. Not matched, a single game the entire split. So, look, Lane 0 Inferno, take one game. That's it. Take one game. Take one game. All right, that's the.
I mean, if we want to pull the cope angle, I mean, Hull's had a few good games. I think.
Until it unfortunately didn't matter at all.
Yeah, I mean,
the solo kills kept coming through.
Hey, he had a few good games. Oh, it's just.
Hey, you know, that is the cope part of the job. Yes. Yeah. I mean, Decker didn't play a bad Ari game either. But, like, what are you supposed to do about, like, the map just completely falling apart? And then to make matters worse, you have the play that happened bot side when they got their first Drake of their first Drake of the game was the second Drake in the game overall. Where they don't get escorted back to lane, like their bot lane doesn't get escorted back to lane. So the Camille just snap engages on the bot lane. It's a double kill, and then Verticality TP's back, and then dies under tower after almost being able to outplay it. Gets no kills out of it because smartly Akuma Final Boss waited for the turret ramp to fall off, which pretty impactful stuff. And it turns out it's about to start raining, so that's why it's so dark for me. Usually got some natural daylight for game number 2, and I turn my light on for game 3 and onwards, but rain is getting in the way of that. So will be Vara's first pick. Have seen Poke Vara still being played. despite it getting literally completely like nerfed out of existence.
Yeah.
And Lee Sin's still in a great spot as well.
No, yeah, that's
Wukong.
absolutely the case. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Wukong definitely
Wukong
takes a
Victor.
little bit to be able to get going, but is an 80 bruiser in the jungle, so yeah, they can't complain too much on that result. Other than the fact that Lee Sin is really good right now, like scarily so. They'll also pick up the Nautilus there to go alongside, which could potentially go alongside the Victor with how prominent mages are in the bot lane these days.
Yeah, we'll see if, I mean, look, I've seen crazier things played in AD carry, like, Pei's picking Mundo is just so absurd to me.
I mean,
like,
yeah,
like,
it is. It's like, what
never
are
thought
we?
I'd see the day. Never thought I'd see the day, the guy with the most pentakills of anyone, and being the youngest
Oh,
player to obtain that record by a landslide.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I didn't actually know that stat. That's
um,
I'll have that one written down.
really, I mean,
Well, then, okay, it's going to be Victor mid. Just ignore
yeah, it's
everything
gonna
I
be
said.
Victor.
Kaisa
Okay,
locked
we're
in
good.
for LZI.
Kaisa
Yeah.
not. What's new? A lot of pressure put onto Lavaris, which I like. I think this is a nice switch up here for LZI. Gonna be Renata. So this is definitely going to be on hit. Would be absurd to play poke and then go play Renata, but
Yeah.
oh, nice Mordekaiser
Ooh,
angle potentially.
ooh.
It is blind. Now
Oh,
Mordekaiser.
no, Mordekaiser. Wait, no, what?
Yes. Oh wait, it's not. It's mid. It's mid. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's not
so
jungle.
goofy.
It maybe it's top, but then you'd be having Kasante mid.
Nah, it's for sure
No,
Mordekaiser.
no.
I'm so confident it's Mord mid. Anyways, Mord got a little bit overbuffed with a stat steal, basically making the 1v1 potential just insane for Mordekaiser. So that is getting tapped down next patch. Has not happened
Oh,
yet.
it's Kasante mid.
So it is Kasante
All right.
mid. Okay.
All
well,
right.
we can just showmaker meme about it then. You know, like 4,900 HP, unstoppable.
It's full.
Go through the whole
damage?
300 armor, W
Nice.
reset. Like, yeah. Anyways, what more do we need to say? We have seen Kazate mid in the past against mages. It's not like this champion is a stranger to that.
Yeah.
Into the Victor.
Awesome.
We'll see how it does. Should be able to be okay, but level 1 could be a bit of a problem. Victor level 1, notoriously good.
Yeah, very long range as well. Kasante should not have, well, the ability to basically play the game at all for the first few levels into Deeker, which, I mean, considering he did look all right, all things considered, in a 22-minute game, in game 1, could potentially prove fruitful for Lane 0 Inferno. Potentially. That might be cope, but you never know.
Hey, you never truly know, do you?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see if the Mordekaiser pays off here. Already some trading down in the bot lane. Will net one pot off of verticality. The Renata being a range champ does make this bot lane pretty annoying for not only a melee support, but a pretty short-ranged AD carry.
Yeah.
So we'll keep our eye onto that. Of course, the strength in Kaisa Not is their ability to all in. And it's not necessarily getting lane control that early, especially into a range support. But once you got like level 3 on Kaisa, you can start looking to trade quite more often. But with on-hit Varus, that actually could be a bit of a disaster.
Yeah, the on hit obviously loves being able to auto attack down, and you're running at him. Gets those blight stacks picked up really quickly. Be able to do some pretty disgusting damage when you give him some pretty free skill shots, which could very well be the case when you have the likes of the Kais and Nautilus. And, well, so far to start out this game, it's going about as expected in the bot lane for Akuma final boss. And also in the top lane, Upchuck, he's gone the Ignite. So going to want to look to try to do or at least have a very similar performance that he did in game 1.
Also, definitely helps against Aatrox passively as well. Means you don't necessarily need to buy anti-heal early. So, little bonus benefit there other than like kill pressure with the Ignite. Now, if it doesn't get value, that could be problematic. But for now, it's just the Mordekaiser getting priority in the lane. And Stray Dog has managed to not get solo killed level 2. So we're already off to a much better start for LZI in this game.
I mean, that is objectively true. No lies detected there. Actually, he's having a relatively calm time up in the top lane. Obviously now down 8 CS already. Not going to be ideal for Stray Dog, but Upchuck obviously having a really great series so far. Perhaps maybe I don't know if expected is the right word to say, but you know, the expected outcome, I'll say.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That works. Yeah. That works.
It feels like the wrong word, but for the lack of a better term, and not sit here for the next 5 hours trying to go over the correct, I don't know, what is the scientific word for wording?
Terminology?
Terminology. That's the word we're probably looking for. Either way, Hulz and Steve Jackson just going to trade auto attacks over, bunch each other.
So
First play going to hands of Hulz. Not quite going to find the kill onto the Wukong. Now Upchuck in a little bit of a weird spot in between the tower and Hulz, but no flashes for either Stray Dog or the Wukong. Having had to use both to be able to survive there, will eventually get Upchuck out.
I know it's going to sound so insane, but that margin of difference, by the way, was the Q nerf that Lisa got a bit ago.
Q2 hits the mark. Stray Dog going forward. Hits the sweet spot on Q3. Obliterate, not quite enough to find the kill, but he has Ignite, that's right.
Okay, to be fair,
Upchuck has Ignite.
Hulz has no reason walking up. Like, it's a kill no matter what. just let your top laner get the kill.
Hey,
Hulz greedily goes forward.
He didn't even get the assist.
Yeah, it makes it a 1-for-1, which not necessarily the greatest for Upchuck, but yes, like still pretty decent trade back at least. But yeah, -1 there, unfortunately. But man, LCI, hey, that's a good start right there. All right.
Yeah.
But as I was mentioning, the Q nerf that came to Lee Sin a bit ago, that literally was the margin of difference, which is... It's so insane to think about, like, that nerf being the reason that wasn't a kill for Lee Sin, because the margin of the nerf was so small as well. But sometimes the margins in League on who lives and who dies are so small, minuscule even, that something like that can have a domino effect of the game. So we'll hopefully here for Akuma, they're able to bounce back from some patch notes. Patch note dip.
Yeah, get patch noted is take away from that one. Though, despite through all that, Akuma final boss still technically do maintain a gold lead. Large portion of that is going to be the CS advantage that Upchuck and Reze as well, the bot lane, have garnered for themselves. So despite things not necessarily going their way in terms of these fights overall, I don't think they're necessarily too perturbed just yet.
Look, okay, maybe we gotta think about this. Hold
drops down on the Fortnite, who's getting collapsed on by Brash as well. Dredgeline hits the mark, nowhere to go for this Cassante. The health bar is eventually chunked through, and Deeker will be the one to pick it up.
Hey, this is a good early game from lane 0. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. This is a pretty good early game. Alright, that's what matters. Already a step in the right direction. But Akuma final boss, also, while they have been pretty dominant this split, they're also not strangers to playing from the back foot as well, right? Like,
Yeah.
they don't necessarily always have the best early games, and well, you look at their like the standings, and it reflects it doesn't matter. Nice handshake
and
from Paul.
Brash trying to find fails. First straight goes to the hands of Akuma final boss, and despite that dredge line coming through, LZI think better of it, and probably wisely so.
Yeah, just let that one go. It's just first Drake. Yeah. Let it go. Don't throw the game over it. Because right now you are in a much better spot than you were last game. So do not throw this if you are LZI. Do not throw this lead in quotation marks. It's not really even a lead. It's not even a real lead. So just don't throw this position, because it's a much better one than the ones you were looking down last game. Granted, that bar is essentially an L for that. That's not very high. Yeah, that bar is essentially an L for that.
Yeah, this is actually probably a good time to mention that I mean, relevant. You hear of the game Cole LLC?
No.
Okay, never mind. All right. Well, anyway, I won't push that front any further. It's one of those like really cheap Godot games that you could pick up for like $7, and it's an absolute. But anyway, moving on. Grubs going to be picked up by Akuma final boss as well. So the first two objectives, once again, all out committed by Fortnite to be able to get him away. On the lane gank from Brush, and all the while, speaking of ganks, or I guess moves up, roams, fails onto the top lane. Trey Dog into Death Roam, doesn't really have anywhere to go. Pauls will be hand shook away from the fight. Upchuck finally gets the kill, and with Steve Jackson arriving, it's a 3v2 advantage, and the ult is going to find its way onto Deeker. Perfect Q from Steve Jackson at max range. We'll get a second for Akuma final boss. And what we're talking about is good early game from lane 0, but Akuma final boss, it's a little bit early to say they are inevitable, but they now find themselves at a 1k gold lead.
They got Brash CSing in mid, holding the mid wave there. And just like that, Akuma final boss have a 1k gold lead. A little bit more than that even. So it's gonna go. Won't get this plate just yet, but pretty disastrous play there from lane 0 in that top side. They should have just let Trey Dog go. But Halls once again kind of greedily goes forward to try and bail out Trey Dog, and they both die. So this Mordekaiser picks up a kill, and also Steve Jackson on the Lee Sin able to pick up a kill himself. Fails.
Brash not quite going to hit the hook. Will it matter? Fails, and Trouble will try to bail himself out. Health bar taken down, won't be able to get away, and the follow-up now is finally coming through. It won't matter that the support died. Verticality's low. Hit max range by Steve Jackson, who's living on the edge of these Qs. Will hit yet another just for good measure. Deeker's full health, so I imagine he's fine, but still just styling on them out there on Lee Sin.
Oh my goodness, Steve Jackson on the Lee Sin. Popping off. I mean, a little bit of a misstep in that, like, very early skirmish against Halls to net lane 0, their, like, only lead of the series so far. That was a very small one at that. But now, we're looking, and Steve Jackson's 3-1, so turn that around big time. Has been instrumental here for Akuma in this game, at least, to get things going. We'll force out the World Ender in top lane. Trey Dog super scared of Upchuck here. Does not want to get ulted. Also, will be the Thor mail coming through for Upchuck. So, does have Grievous Wounds online now. So, the Ignite's there just for extra damage.
Yeah, and, well, could definitely prove lethal, especially now that Upchuck is up a level over Trey Dog. And so, we'll be feeling good on that front. Upchuck definitely. Well, having a quieter game this time around, though admittedly that is a very high bar to cross. Before we get to that, next Drake is spawning in 3 seconds now, so we can definitely see a potential fight brewing. It's definitely on the mini-map looking like Steve Jackson may have found out holes on that occasion. Just unable to fully pipe it up, but Brash waiting in the bush will ult onto Reze. Ult's a bit too far away to follow up on this fight. Steve Jackson roams down anyway. Double kill gets into the hands of the Varus. And now Akuma final boss. Well, they didn't necessarily have the best first few minutes of the game, but we are now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Yep. Unfortunately for Lane 0 Inferno, the strength of Akuma is just too high.
Yeah.
Too high for them to handle at the moment. Drake number 2 actually goes over to Akuma. So on the objective department, they're actually doing worse at this game.
I mean, again, technically true. Oh, but before I get to that, Holes will get the Cyclone first cast of it on Steve Jackson. Hook not quite going to hit the mark onto Fails. A good handshake will try to save him a little bit, but verticality will prevent any sort of escape for the Renata. Will pick.
Hope it's not me.
Good?
We're good.
Okay, I don't think it's you, because I think I know what you're talking about. It was a little bit stuttery.
Yeah, it was Isaac. That's okay.
Yeah, it's my bad, guys. You know, it's
all Isaac's fault. Everyone.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
You did nobody missed anything.
Well, either way, yeah.
Hey, there's a world ending.
Yeah, Trey Dog having to use that to get himself away from Upchuck, who, with that Rylai's Crystal Scepter, as soon as that passive procs is very difficult to escape from, and you know.
Nigh impossible. Even.
Yeah, he's got his little passive circling around him, and you're just stuck. Like, it's kind of disgusting. What was also disgusting could be the damage going on with verticality. That was half of verticality's health bar completely removed by an empowered piercing arrow. And so Akuma final boss. Yeah, again, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Find themselves 4.5k gold up. Objective bounty is now going to be available at 15 minutes. Took us a little bit longer to get this time, and well, fair play to Lane 0 for having a fairly solid early game, but of course, as I say that, Fail's going to have to flash away, will handshake away Holes. The ult's not going to save him. Deeker will pick up his second kill of the game.
Well, they get a kill onto Victor. Maybe it's time to play around the Decker. Like, play around Decker this game. I think that's the only way.
Is it Decker?
I think it's Decker.
Okay, well, Q2 going to hit the mark onto Reze. Will be all right in the end. Teleport up to Upchuck. Does have access to the Death Realm. Q1 Trey Dog hits the mark. Q2 does as well. Obliterate. Going to do a little bit of damage onto Trey Dog, but all 4 members of LZI collapsing now on to the Mordekaiser. Will send Trey Dog to the Death Realm to keep himself alive. Teleport now from Fortnite finally arriving. Gets the stun onto 2 with the Pathmaker. Trey Dog obliterate. Will not get the kill. Reze will get it with the piercing arrow, but it starts off the way of Akuma final boss, and it will only go the way of Akuma final boss. Double kill for Reze. 10-6. 5k gold up. At 16 minutes, it's this is the Akuma final boss we know. That's no more else.
It's a slaughter. It's a slaughter. Yeah. It's a slaughter. Hey, but do you think they can end the game in 22 minutes from this position? I'm actually not sold. I think it's gonna be. I think they're gonna go.
Yeah, there's 5 minutes. Oh wait, hold on. Look at the teleport on the minimap. Yeah, we got a teleport from Trey Dog going very deep.
You're gonna see it from Steve Jackson.
the Rift Herald picked up by Steve Jackson. Trey Dog doesn't care about the juggler of Akuma final boss will pop the world ender now, trying to get the kill on Reze. A good defensive kick from Steve Jackson, but Brash pushing forward, fails, not in the best of positions. Hook not going to hit the mark. Flash auto attack gets the snare onto fails, but going to use the Red Herald to escape.
The Battle Herald.
The tech, absolutely perfect from the support of Akuma final boss. Halls will at the very least get the shutdown onto Reze. And we'll pick up 900 gold in the process. But I mean, gosh, fails with the tech. I did not see that angle. I was not familiar with Fails' game. My bad. Yeah, fair play. Verticality going to have to flash away and hit by the Q of Steve Jackson. The all out will take him even further away and secure the kill for Fortnite.
Okay, so once Steve Jackson placed the Herald, I was like, yeah, Fails is going to use this to get out. But no, they just turn around and turn the play on its head. And, you know, now it's starting to look like this game could end in 22 minutes as well, because...
About 4 minutes.
You know, they got 4 minutes. They did get Baron basically on spawn.
How many seconds was it in game 1? Do you remember? I didn't keep track.
I don't look at seconds. Like, I'm looking at other things.
Well, because obviously,
where's our LCK level of production to tell us like how long the last game was in our year? Come on.
Right. Yeah, where's our stats guy?
Sims, get on that. Sims. 22:31 apparently.
22:31. Okay, so that's the mark we're looking at for Akuma final boss to maybe make this one faster, which would honestly be really impressive considering how, well, we've said it a few times so far, how the early game went though for Lane 0. Inferno, and even though they got kills, I think they may have held the gold lead by maybe 100 at one point, but
they did have a gold lead. That's what matters.
That's what matters. Yeah,
that's what matters.
And that's right? Why it's a comeback from Akuma final boss. True.
Yeah, that's right.
And we've got fighting off the screen. Fails will pop the ults to be able to get himself out, and will do successfully. Very good attempt from Lane 0 to try to find the kill, but they'll try to push a bit further forward, knowing that Fails is completely out of this fight. A good Cyclone will stop the advance of Akuma final boss. Hall's still on the retreat. It's basically a 4v5, but LCI has to hightail it out of here. It's a stun from Fortnite on the Pathmaker, bringing Halls back into the midst of it. Fortnite the one to claim it. Trey Dog on the side of the fight with nowhere to go. Surely going to fall in quick order. Actually, it's taking a little bit a while, and there's the wall separating out of the AFB members, but a perfect kick from Steve Jackson gets the CC onto Verticality. All the while, Deeger will actually find the kill onto Fails. Trey Dog, Q1 hits the mark, Q2 going to as well. Trey Dog finds kill, actually, sorry, goes into the hands of Verticality, and you'd actually prefer it to get into the hands of Verticality on the shutdown. So Lane 0 Inferno are able to at least get something out of that fight.
Hey, it's a 2 for 2 from this far behind.
That's definitely worthwhile, especially when it is that shutdown going to Verticality.
Now, we probably don't need to mention the fact that even though Kaisa got that shutdown, she's still an entire item behind.
I mean, yeah, this is true, but
a win's a win's a win.
It's not an entire item. She does have a longbow. Verticality.
Yeah, but Reze also has Amp Tome plus. So it's an entire item.
Okay.
It's an entire item.
Hold on. Yeah, this is okay. I was trying to cope. I was trying to give him a.
So, not necessarily the greatest.
I was trying to give them something because they're sitting down about 6k gold at 21 minutes. I don't think we're going to get the 22-minute game this time around. Fails once again. Runs too far forward. We'll have to flash over the wall. Cyclone will find its way onto Reze. Fails finally going down, but Steve Jackson going to find the support himself. It's a hectic fight. Holes gets the kill onto Reze, who had to press a bit too far forward, but Steve Jackson still dancing around this fight, changing focus from Trey Dog and Holes, but all the while in the death round, Upchuck on the top portion of your screen will find the 1v1 kill onto Trey Dog. Verticality hit by a Q. Steve Jackson going forward. Now hits a second one. And the red buff burn. Will it find the kill? Not quite. Verticality will get out, but it does cost Halls his life. Upchuck not even going to go down despite how low that health bar was. Can Verticality pull off a Houdini-esque escape. Fortnite chasing him down. Actually, there's no way. Oh, wait. Goes invisible. Okay.
Would have
Yeah,
been really
there's no
funny, by
getting
the
it.
way, because I think Fortnite lost vision. If he actually popped the blast cone, and it would have made Fortnite think he went over the wall. That would have been maybe my outcome.
That?
It's so hard to tell. It's gonna
hard
be
to tell,
Baron.
yeah.
It's gonna be Baron, but guess what? It won't be the game. So, 22-31. He's going to pass us here.
22.
So at the very least, it's gonna be a long game.
Hey, there it is.
It's gonna be a long game, and there's smite needed there. It's much similar to the last Baron, although in game number 1 it actually would have been stealable by Solar Flare. So,
I mean, stealable is a very very generous.
It would have. It was like down to 100 HP.
Okay, yeah, you know what? Fair.
It very easily could have stolen the Baron if Brash had casted it, but did not. Opted to use it defensively to get away in that game. Of course, now we're on to game number 2, and already slower one from Akuma. Kind of disappointing, you know? Kind of disappointing. They're throwing.
Yeah, how dare Akuma not have another 22-minute game? It's, you know, like, what kind of... I think you can pretty much chalk this up as a loss for Akuma final boss. Basically, same difference. I don't know. I'm going with that one. But someone who does know where they're going is Akuma final boss, committing all 5 members to this mid lane, wanting to take down the tier 2 tower. They don't quite have a wave with them just yet. They don't even care. This is how far ahead they are. Take the tier 2 tower, and yeah, it's just that disgusting that they can just walk up like that.
I think we're just gonna walk away from this one.
Surely, right? Yeah. Trey Dog does have the extra move speed, so we'll hit Fortnite. And now actually Trey Dog, he's got nowhere to go. Hit by the Chains of Corruption, and that will spell doom for the Aatrox of LZI. And speaking of LZI, they're on the wrong side of this fight now, but the hook goes forward onto Fails. Hostile Takeover will get what they need, and so the wallets are it's just too much to handle for lane 0 Inferno. It's just, yeah. Deeker will do his best in the Death Realm to do his, I guess, best. He was a good stick handler. I don't know, Sidney Crosby and Freshen, but Ace now completed for the side of Akuma final boss. They've got the push in the mid lane. It will very comfortably, in the end, be game 2 for Akuma final boss as they send us to game 3.
Not ending.
As a match point. Actually,
We got another fight.
Okay, never mind. I called it a bit too soon. My apologies. That was
We got another fight on our hands.
yeah.
Well, I was expecting the game to be over like 26 or so, but nope. We're going to another fight. And I was gonna say, yeah, this game's gonna end with no soul, but they actually spent so much time on trying to kill Decker there, they actually didn't have the damage that they had, so... shout out to Decker, I guess, for causing them to waste so much time. But Akuma, I mean, they're winning this game, I think. It would take a miracle for them to lose this game.
I mean, over 11k gold up normally is very difficult to overcome. But when it's come this early as well, and with the Cloud Soul also for Akuma on top of that. So they've got a few really good Cloud Soul users as well. I mean, Fortnite's going to zoom after he goes all out. Steve Jackson going to zoom after hitting a kick. Maybe not as impactful, but also Upchuck. We'll get 1 million move speed in a 1v1, which is fair. That is fair. Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, if he wasn't strong enough, he needs the crutch, all right? He's a juggernaut, you know? He's got low mobility, low CC, you know? So yeah, he needs it, all right? He needs it. Don't worry about his items, he needs it. Don't worry about his items, he needs it. This should basically be the end of the game, I think. It's only really going to take just
Oh, Trey Dog pulled back. We'll have to flash away from the chains of corruption. No, Varus. Oh, speaking of Varus getting caught, but the heals and shields are so much. Will be kept alive even longer. Goes golden with the Renata bailout. Won't quite be enough. Shutdown goes to the hand of Trey Dog, who's pushing a bit forward. Fortnite getting dangerously low, but still tanky on the Cassante, but that does bait. Mordecai's a bit far forward. Upchuck going to give a shutdown to the hands of Verticality. And so LZI hang on just a little bit longer. They'll get another chance at this game too.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, okay? How do you have Cassante Mordekaiser on your team, and you as the Varus are the person to get hooked? How does that happen? I talked about a miracle LCI found one, but they're gonna need more than that, and maybe a couple more of those to even have a foothold in the game again. But they do buy themselves time, and sometimes time is all you need, because as it turns out, your opponents stop getting stronger after a certain point, so...
Yeah, once you hit full builds, it's literally impossible. Yeah.
They're holding out for some hope, you know? Lane 0, impossible. Can they do the impossible? It's not looking like it, okay? But they have done, to give them some credit this game, they have done a great job at, like, finding punish windows of Akuma. And finding, like, somehow they keep finding decent fights while they're behind, so that's some props from me. Because they're at least keeping this one somewhat competitive.
They will trade the Baron away for assuming that bot lane tier 2 goes down. No, Trey Dog actually just going to teleport down, help push the wave in a little bit, and recall out, not going to actually pick up the bot tier 2, so not even a trade. That kind of feels bad. Yeah, not ideal. But with the same spot, teleport coming through from Fortnite, and we'll finally claim this top lane tier 3 tower. The inhibitor is open, and LG have to push themselves back even further now. Down 2 inhibitors. We'll have a bit of trouble trying to stop this Baron siege. The waves pushing in mid and top now. Nexus turrets within the sights of Akuma final boss. Don't necessarily want to force a fight now. Hook finds its way forward onto Fails, and the hostile takeover hits 3. Brash will try to flash away. Will actually successfully get out, but will lose 2 towers in the process. Halls' Cyclone will find only Upchuck, and that won't nearly be enough to save the game for LZI. So Akuma final boss. It took them a little bit, but they do finally arrive at their expected outcome with a win in game 2, sending themselves to match point.
Well, we are starting to see maybe a little bit of hubris come through in the series, though. Akuma, they were in such a commanding position, and a couple instances there, they just overplay their hand a little bit too much and make this one go to 30 minutes off their own accord. That game was basically shut down, but again, I'm personally choosing to believe it's hubris, but Akuma still get it done dominantly. And even after some early game slip-ups, that one probably less hubris and more just, it was so close, right? Like, it was such a close play. It could have gone either way, and it went LZI's way, so props to LZI. They fought back in this game despite the horrible mid-game that they had.
Yeah.
They started off the game really strong as well, so hopefully moving forward in this next game, which is do or die for them, they're able to finally piece it all together. But Akuma aren't necessarily making that look all so feasible right now.
Yeah. Akuma final boss now 16-0 in terms of game score on the season. I mean, you were saying earlier that maybe the hope for Lane Zero is to maybe take a game off them. We'll see if Lane Zero Inferno can do that and hand Akuma Final Boss their first loss of the season. It will be the first step in a potential reverse sweep, which would actually be the most insane thing possible. But has to start somewhere. We'll see if Lane Zero Inferno can do it when we go get in for game 3, which will be coming up after this short break.
like do 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 do, like do 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 crazy, oh 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 crazy, oh 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 crazy crazy, oh oh crazy, oh 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 crazy, do 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 crazy, do 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 crazy, do 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 crazy, do 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 crazy crazy, do do like do 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 do, like do 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 crazy, oh do do like do 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 do, like do 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 crazy, oh.
We apologize for the extended delay, but we are back and ready to go for this match point game 3 in the Titan Immortal League quarterfinals between Akuma Final Boss and Lane Zero Inferno. Akuma Final Boss, obviously, so far this season, 16-0 in game score. Could make it 17-0 with the win here and advance to the semifinals where they would play either Team 6 Gaming or Death Cards Blob Trains. And they would meet up in that one. But they do have to get the job done here. And, well, I mean, precedent has shown that it's very likely going to go their way. But, I mean, if there is an argument that I would like to put for Lane Zero Inferno, is the fact Game 1 was a stomp. Game 2, there were a few signs of life and good early game. I mean, it's something. It's something.
It was still stomp. All right, let's stop beating around the bush. It was still stomp.
Yeah,
it was still stomp.
Yeah,
it was still stomp. Even though Akuma made it go on for a little bit longer than it needed to, through some mistakes, they still had control of the game for a majority of it. It wasn't even after they threw, like when they started to kind of throw, there was not even a realm of a possibility LZI could have gotten back into the game anyways. So
yeah, you know, this is true. This is true.
Look, we can cope for them, but like unfortunately right now we can't cope. There's not a whole lot of coping to be done for Lane Zero Inferno. Because the games just really have been one-sided, unfortunately. Akuma, Final Boss, showing why they are undefeated. I mean, they're just playing so phenomenally. They've done this all split. It's nothing new. And in, not to knock LZI while they're down or anything. And of course, the fact that they're here obviously means something, but this is 4th seed versus a first seed, right? The first seed's undefeated, right? Like, this is an expected kind of, like, series in which it probably is going to be 3-0. Maybe you could stretch it to a 3-1 because Akuma get just a little bit too cute with, like, their drafts or something, and it just doesn't work out. But
with something like a blind Gwyn?
A blind Gwyn is enticing, but don't forget, still some flexibility here in their draft. So this could be Wungle for Steve Jackson. This could be Pantheon support for Fails. That's incredibly unlikely to happen, but that's a possibility.
Yeah, and I mean, Akuma Final Boss, obviously in that game 1, no strangers to flexibility either. So there is precedent to be shown that they excuse me, could potentially shift things up as things go on, but Renekton and Mel going to be taken off the board by lane 0 Inferno. Start out the second round of bans. Ezreal and Caitlyn not going to be available for the hands of Verticality. So, let's see what they go for here. I mean, I'm thinking it is probably likely going to be an ADC for LZI, considering the options they have available, and it will be with the Tristana lock-in.
Well, we'll see what the Tristana can get done. Verticality has not necessarily had the best series himself so far.
It's got the name synergy, though. The
Yeah,
rocket
that's
jump,
true.
that gives you verticality.
That's true. Are you ready? You ready for Dunk Squad 4.0 to come out with League Classic? I am. They just have to add all the dunk champions back into the game, and then we'll get there. But Xayah Rakan, certainly a fantastic answer into Tristana, because Tristana wants to jump on you. Xayah, literally one of the best runaway AD carries in the entire game. Thorell,
And
whatever.
actually, frankly, I think gets a lot of value with what LZI have drafted.
Yeah. Of course, Xayah usually kind of the answer into Nocturne. Unfortunately, will actually be the Gwen, so no weird flexibility. I mean, we knew that because, I mean, hey, look, you never know. That Fortnite could have pulled out the Pantheon mid and tried to just kill lane the Orianna. You never know.
And
right?
then
Some
you
tech,
throw
some
you throw the Anivia top, I guess. Anyway, no, it is standard this time around for Akuma final boss. Very, I mean, maybe not the best front line ever, but still relatively comfortable in the front to back, especially when you have the ability to go immune. When you have if you're targeted by the Knockwave, Hollowed Mist, Shockwave doesn't do anything. For example, is another things. Good multiple ways for the damage dealers. I mean, other than really Anivia to be able to ignore a lot of the forward movement that LZI have drafted.
Well, we are going to get onto the Rift here now. If this ends up being a 3-0, and this is a quick game, like it doesn't take 30 minutes, this will have ended faster than a best of 3 usually takes, where it's a 2-0. So, we'll see if that happens. We still have an entire game ahead of us. Maybe Akuma final boss want to give us a 4th game. They want to drop their first game because I'm sure they're very willing to do that in playoffs. Okay. In all seriousness, Akuma final boss have a lot of great answers here. The zone control from the Anivia is going to be incredibly impressive to play against. If you are LZI, granted, you do have a lot of snap engage to kind of break through that, so that is going to help. But again, the comp you're playing into is so good at kiting back. It is so hard, and of course, Fails can play counter-engage this game because the enemy team has drafted so much engage into your team, right? Like, this can be the counter-engage for Khan. You can bide his time, wait for the enemy team to try and go in, and then find that counter-engage, and it's going to flip the team fight all on its head. Trey Dog, still struggling.
Yeah.
In these trades.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say at this point that Upchuck has just had Trey Dog's number dialed in over and over, and well, I've tried to find another metaphor or whatever to keep up the phone call analogy, but it's all coming to me. Either way, point still remains. Upchuck has just been simply better than Trey Dog so far in this series, and is definitely continuing to do that here in Game 3.
Look
at least
this,
early on.
Jungle pathing, by the way, and it's a great response actually from Akuma, right? Because Steve Jackson is actually going to get this invade, but if he doesn't take the entire quadrant, he's going to actually be behind here.
We'll try to find a gank onto Deeker, though. Deeker, opposite side of the map towards is Nocturne. Will flash away preemptively and get out comfortably.
Felt like maybe Decker could have kept walking up and would have been okay, but is forced rather to flash. So Steve Jackson does make it back to defend the blue buff. So it is actually a buff advantage here for Steve Jackson.
Oh, Fortnite does have the flash.
Egg.
Only as long as possible. Will use it. Will keep hold of his egg form. So no flashes for the Anivia or the Orianna in the mid lane. You definitely see a very swift return to the mid lane from the junglers.
Indeed. Steve Jackson looking top as well. Has flash.
Yeah, Trey Dog does as well. Upchuck trying to get space needed. A good shield bolt to find the stun onto Trey Dog. Saves Upchuck. And first blood goes over to the Gwen.
Oh, it's actually so tragic. He tried to go for the Q2 flash, but not only did he mistime it, it would have been blocked by Steve Jackson. So really well played, actually, from Akuma to punish out Trey Dog, who I think that would have been the first solo kill of the series for him.
Yes.
So denied by Steve Jackson, and Steve Jackson gets things going early for the Gwen. Gwen needs no introduction for how well she can do in the late game.
Oh, yeah.
Especially into melee 1v1s. And Bessa is that. But at least with Bessa, she does also naturally get a lot of damage as the game goes on. And Bessa's also pretty weak in the early game. Needs ability haste, right? Ability levels to really get going. So nice cancel there.
Yeah, Brash will be knocked out of the crash down and will force the flash away from the not the flash, the heal, sorry, away from the rel, and so will be a trade of those summoner spells, but Brash definitely in a world of hurt, stuck under the tower.
Alright, well. Akuma final boss. Looking for this game to go on to the semifinals. Now, Team 6 Gaming and Death Card Blobtons, you know, I've been watching some of the games in the background, basically, especially on breaks, trying to garner what's going on. I don't know what the game score is, because I have that stream muted, so I'm pretty sure they responded to me through voice, and I have the stream muted, so I can't. I don't actually know what the series is looking like, but it's definitely been looking like a chaotic one from the few snippets of the games I've been able to watch. So might be the only series going beyond Game 3, because right now, looking at the other series, Syndicate is stomping Iceborne at the moment.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that trend continues, or if Iceborne's able to bounce back in their game. But so far, it's been Syndicate all the way in that series. And now we're back to this one. Just thought I'd give a chat an update, you know, about the other games going on for quarterfinals. Because there's not a whole lot happening in this one. Very quiet early game, abnormally, for these two teams so far.
For how it's gone. Yeah, I mean, considering we had a handful of solo kills by like minute 4 in game 1, and a surprise early game start from LZI in game 2, considering we're sitting now at 7 minutes with only the first blood going to Akuma final boss. Up in that top lane gank earlier from Steve Jackson, it's definitely abnormal considering the precedence that this series has set. But I don't think Akuma final boss mind all that much. Shockwave, though, will hit its mark onto Fortnite. Will get to the safety of the tower and does have the egg form. So a lot committed from the side of LZI, namely the flash from Halls, to only get the passive out of the Anivia.
Well. Reze. Now on the Xayah, we calling them feathers up, you know. Nice stun there on the fails, but they are playing around with the idea about maybe a dive, but it is just going to be a back by Steve Jackson, which I agree is the smart choice. You already have the lane push. Literally no reason to overextend on that one. Trying to overplay your hand. And this will be the latest Dragon take of all 3 games so far. When that falls. Void Corrupts, though, being a decent point of contention, has been taken early, basically on spawn by Akuma both games. We'll see if that trend continues in this one, although Halls is paying a visit.
Towards the top half of the map, Upchuck dangerously low, does have the teleport though to be able to come back. Needlework also just now coming off cooldown, so Upchuck can rejoin if necessary. The grubs are started up by the side of LZI. Will finally get the camera now in the river. Fortnite going to have to flash away from the public execution. But I think it may have lasted long enough. The Grand Starfall from Steve Jackson, perhaps a little bit too early. Trey Dog will collapse on the over-aggressing Pantheon. Double kill for the top laner. Upchuck now the only one left alive for Akuma final boss, but he's just going to have to run as fast as possible, try to escape the Orianna speed up. Not quite going to be enough to be able to make it 3 for LZI. But a very good punish from Lane Zero.
That has been kind of a way for Lane Zero to find some kills, is punishing Fortnite. Fortnite definitely kind of the blueprint, I guess, for LZI getting kills. Verticality is...
Oh, going to be charmed up. Featherstorm will be used. The recall of the feathers does so much damage. Lines up Brash perfectly. Make it 2-2 across the game.
Oh my goodness, the Blade Caller just did so much damage there.
Yeah.
Basically deleted Brash off of the Rift. Just needed the additional auto attack there to pick that one up, but that's the danger when you're playing this like all in bot lane into like a Xayah or Khan matchup, is you put yourself basically in prime position to get Max Blade Caller.
Paranoia though going to be used by Halls up to the top lane. Fear comes through. Trey Dog will pick up his 3rd kill of the game.
Alright, well, that's
Fortnite
good.
in trouble. Yeah, he's got the wall. He just throws up a wall and is alright. He's mentioned actually I don't know. I don't know why I said this. You mentioned Trey Dog, but who else is one to show up? Flashback Pro. Okay, Deeker. Very advantageous. Fortnite not respecting the flash advantage, though. Verticality going to rocket jump forward. Gets the full powered E, but will pop the barrier.
Yeah. So Xayah has the advantage in items, right? But Tristana still does a pretty decent chunk of damage right now. But that Storm Razor coming in clutch big time in terms of the damage output. Because had Reze been even items with Tristana, Reze was 100% going there. So, thankfully able to pick up that kill to get the advantage. Tristana's going to lose some of the CS as well. And you look at the CS departments in this game right now, Reze has a massive lead already in that, in the CS department. So... looking across the board, though, Decker has done a great job this series overall for LZI. The Victor was great, the Ahri was great, right? Decker off to a great start.
Fortnite, wrong side of the map. Public execution going to hit the mark, and doesn't matter that Anivia egg form is there. Wrong side of the map, got 2 enemy team members on you. There's nowhere to go for that one. 5th kill of the game goes over to LZI.
Yeah, very nice. And they pick up the first dragon. So, hey...
They got a gold lead again. I mean,
this is the largest gold lead they've
a marginal one.
All night.
True. This is also a fact. Progress for LZI. Yeah, good to see. We love to see it. Let's not get too overexcited just yet. It is still Akuma final boss, and they have a knack for getting out of these situations. Stray Dog will be slowed up by the needlework. will expire now. Steve Jackson, Upchuck doing their best to try to collapse down. Stun from Fortnite, eventually going to come through. It's a really good wall, but instead Dreadnought goes for it onto the Anivia. It's a good double stun from Brash with the Shattering Strike. Trey Dog getting low. Shockwave hits Steve Jackson, doesn't go down. They live so long. Deeger, at the very least, will get the kill on Steve Jackson. Now Paranoid going to be used by Halls to go back in, gets the first kill on, sorry, no, it's actually a double kill for Deeger. And now it'll go another one to Halls. Another kill, sorry. The first one will kill go over to Halls, but makes it a 3-4-2 over to LZI.
Well, Akuma do find something back, but I mean, unironically, LZI are absolutely trying right now. If they can kind of get this bot lane situation under control, like try to force out this Featherstorm from Reze and then utilize the Nocturne ultimate while it's on cooldown to try and get a kill onto your Tristana or something to equalize out bot lane. And they're going to be in a fantastic position moving into the mid game because Tristana's going to start spiking during that, right? Of course, the Nocturne's already there. The Orianna's in a great position as well. And Bessa starts to really come online, especially with this build in the mid game. They're doing so much better, so they have plenty of life left in this series, and they're playing like they want it. It's just going to come down to whether or not that's going to matter to Akuma, you know, in this next team fight, basically.
Oh, well, Fortnite in trouble once again, going to Flash. I don't think it matters. Deeger going to pick up his 5th kill of the game. And now Fortnite without a Flash as well. I mean, hey, LZI, they're doing quite good for themselves. However, there's one downside. It is the fact, as you mentioned, with this bot lane, going so much in the way of AFB. So the focus now comes straight to the bot lane. It's a good swiftness from Fails to try to keep Reze alive as long as possible. Flash away, going to ult out the public execution. Fails, slowly ticking down. Trey Dog finally gets the kill. Steve Jackson all the while in the midst of everything with nowhere to go. Deeker now 6 kills on the game, has a 600 gold shutdown on his head.
I think, by the way, the way things are going, LZI are in such a good position in this game right now.
They're up 2k gold. It's a possibility.
Look, where there is delusion, there is hope. And LZI have a whole lot of delusion right now. As, man, they have no business.
Well, actually, they have Tristana in the bot lane. But okay, never mind. All right. Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
I'm sorry. That was.
Come on.
Okay. All right. Well.
That one was a little bit of a reach.
It was. Yeah.
Reach, right?
That was. You know, it came to me, and then I said it, and then immediately regretted it.
Hey, it's okay.
Anyway.
Sometimes we make mistakes. Trey Dog staying around is
Trey Dog might be in one. Yep. Tower goes down. Shield Vault stun comes through. Recall the feathers, extends that CC. Trey Dog, I mean, was able to eventually move, but only had 5 health or so by the time he was able to. So a kill finally goes back the way of Akuma final boss.
Well, hey. This is, okay, so to get back on a very real train here, less meme train, LZI, while they've been playing great, they have a gold lead. You see that's now shrunken. And it's because their macro has not been that great. Trey Dog has basically just abandoned top lane to make these plays around the map. But it's left this, this Gwen to just kind of sit by herself, farm herself kind of back into the game after having a bit of a deficit into the Mbessa. And that's something they tried to leverage in game number 1, where Trey Dog on the Jack started to get behind, so he tried to roll mid, but it just made things worse. And I hope for LZI's sake that's not going to happen in this game. Thankfully, the level lead is not there for the Gwen. But when you are utilizing this, your lead is going to shrink over time. So, needs to use that with the idea that the more time you spend not farming, and looking for these plays, the more time you're giving to your opponent upchuck to farm up, which has not been something Akuma have really been bothered by the way. Like, that's something they've been happy to take in terms of a trade. You know, Stray Dog goes, helps his team, but upchuck's just farming in whatever side lane for free. And when you're playing something like Gwyn, who can take over the side lane really easily in terms of split pushing, has great 1v1 potential, that's pretty scary. Nice engage.
Swiftness going to hit the mark. Right, grand entrance, and the damage from Reze is just too big. Fails will be the one to secure the kill, but now without a top laner, and Reze still alive and kicking. Almost 200 CS at 18 minutes with 2 kills. I mean, even though it's been all LCI in terms of kills so far in this early game, you were talking about upchuck on the Gwyn getting left alone. I mean, there's also to consider the person who is not behind on the side of Akuma Final Boss is, before we get to that, 3 members sent to the bottom lane trying to find out upchuck. Crash down, going to hit the mark. Finally, upchuck gets responded to. Verticality will be the one to secure the kill, but that does mean that across the map, Steve Jackson and AFB will pick up the Rift Herald.
Yeah, I mean, also they got the top tower. Like, they got 2 towers, a Rift Herald out of that play, all for Gwyn dying, which I think if you're Akuma, you are more than happy with.
Oh yeah.
Because, again, they were down 2k not even 4 minutes ago, and they've turned that around to you know, a 1k gold lead for themselves. So the macro from LCI needs to improve literally in this series, or they might not be having another game to play. Yeah. In this particular game, good correction, because if they don't, they won't have very many games to really prove themselves that they can get better macro in, because this is the last and final one potentially here for them if they lose it, to prove what they're worth. But again, hey, if nothing else, if they do ultimately lose this game, they did a phenomenal job in this early game to clean things up and try to give themselves a real fighting chance in this series. So props to them for that, if nothing else.
Yeah, and considering it is up against Akuma Final Boss, I think that is a pretty fair thing to say. That LZI throughout this series have definitely looked better, despite the fact that this might be a sweep. But Shockwave going to stop the advance of Steve Jackson. Teleport now coming through from Trey Dog. Public Execution not quite going to hit the mark onto Steve Jackson. That does get a response into the mid lane. Paranoia drop. Fear will come through, but Reze far enough away with that flash. So turn attention back to the bot lane once again for this 3v3. Steve Jackson summing up the Rift Herald. May have been slowed down a bit too much. Will manage to get healed up by Fails. Flash forward, knocks up two. Goes back to the Herald to try to find a battle. Herald forward, Fortnite going to flash forward to secure a kill for themselves. The Rift Herald going to get the knock up onto Deeker too, with the grand entrance follow, and now a double kill from Fortnite. Will roam back down to this bottom half of the map. Halls tries to kill off Steve Jackson, won't quite be able to do it. Eventually they're going to give the kill over to Fortnite, and all the while I'm going to assume what you're talking about is upchuck in the top lane.
Yep. Look at, they send all 5 members for this play, and it doesn't work. They lose a 3v5. And they almost lose their top tier 3. They lost their top tier 2. The Herald actually, I think, got that crash on the bot lane tower as well. It did.
It did.
It did not. It did not. We're good. We're chilling. It did not. There's no way. There's no way it did that little damage. Otherwise, Rift Herald needs
yeah,
a
I suppose so.
So,
yeah, actually,
regardless,
valid point.
Like, they have bled so much gold through that play, and now look at the 6k gold lead just like that. Like, Akuma Final Boss. Like, they just keep pulling this out of their, hats.
I swear. Got an 8k gold sweeping in 4 minutes. It's crazy. And Akuma Final Boss are going to look to make it even more. Pushing forward into the river now. Drake up and available. It would be soul point to LZI if they could somehow find a miracle. Maybe not a miracle is too strong a word. They will try to go in Shockwave. Knockwave onto everybody of Akuma Final Boss. Shutdown gets into the hand of Halls. The ult from Zaya will not save you, Reze. Trey Dog kills off Upchuck. And that is precisely what the doctor ordered for LZI.
Oh my god, it pays off big time having the positioning around this Drake. Akuma are actually so worried about the soul point going over to lane 0. And they get baited into the perfect spot for the Knockwave combo to come through.
Oh my goodness.
And it destroys the backline of Akuma Final Boss. And while yes, you're playing Zaya, it's only just barely some time bot to do a little bit of damage. But LCI not only find a very much needed fight win, they also pick up soul points in this game. And it's a mountain soul. If they can claim this, that's going to alleviate some of this gold diff that they're facing right now. 5 minutes, I guess 4.5 minutes now, is all it's really going to take. And if LCI say, hey, we don't feel comfortable fighting this, they can just flip the Baron. They can just go do the Baron while Akuma's on the, trying to do the Dragon. And then they can use the Baron to get, more gold in their pocket, get some, map control, establish some vision lines, utilize the Nocturne. LZI find the, basically, potentially a series-saving fight.
It is precisely what they needed. It was looking completely, not completely doomed for LZI, but their hope was dwindling for them up until that point. But, Deeker, to be fair, Deeker and Halls, despite how this series has gone in general, definitely two of the brighter points for the side of LZI, and are continuing to do so here in Game 3. Will it be enough to send us to a Game 4? Give Akuma Final Boss their first loss of the series. Actually, you might want to take a look out for Fortnite. I don't know if... surely the passive is back up for Fortnite. Well, instead, we'll not try to threaten the dive onto the Anivia.
We'll see. We'll see. You can tell there's a little icon next to the level.
To the health bar, but they just went out to the level? Really?
Yes, right next to the little level.
Well, Paranoia are going to be dropped. Speaking of the Anivia, we're going to have 3 members collapsing onto Fortnite. Yeah, I don't even think it matters in this instance. If anything, it's probably a good thing that Fortnite didn't have it, because now they... Trey Dog dangerously low. Won't quite die. But Upchuck, we're talking about this Gwyn in the side lane, who's been left alone for so long, has now hit the point to where it is a very big problem.
And guess what? As they get pulled around the map, this is basically a very Gingy way of playing. They get pulled around the map over and over and over again, and even though they're kind of,
they're spotted though.
Behind, now they're spotted. Baron down for a quarter.
Now coming through for Upchuck and Trey Dog. Looks like they're going to want to try to find a fight around the Baron. Swiftness popped by the Rakan, and Trey Dog is caught. Reze will be the one to pick up the kill. Really well executed by Akuma Final Boss. Upchuck going forward even further. Snip, not quite going to hit the mark. Paranoia going to be used to try to turn off the lights for AFB, stop their advance, and it does successfully slow down Akuma Final Boss. We'll back away for now. The health bars are decently low, but no top laner for LZI, and a few of these low health bars for the likes of Halls means they don't really have an avenue back into this fight. Akuma Final Boss start up the Baron once again. LZI, what can they do to try to stop this one? Obviously, the resistance will be coming through. Upchuck going to toss the needlework forward. Smite comes down, not going to be stolen away, and now Brash in the wrong spot. At the very least, verticality will see an isolated fails to make it 1-for-1. Pick up some gold for the Tristana, but Baron goes to the way of AFB.
Yeah, unfortunately, Decker just couldn't get in to utilize the Shockwave at all, so... well played in terms of, keeping LZI out. Akuma, pick up the Baron. Yes, they trade supports, but still winning for Akuma there for sure. Now they're going to have this Baron for this Dragon. So that play of like, oh, LZI no longer have to care about like the soul, right? Like they can just go straight for Baron, right? That doesn't exist. Akuma can play for both. Now, granted, LZI can happily give this one away because it'll be Akuma's first Drake. But Soul is a win condition here for lane 0, and I'm worried that they're going to try and fight it.
And they're going to go. Shockwave finds way onto 2. Public Execution won't hit the mark. Steve Jackson gets an over-aggressing alls, and the counter punch from Akuma Final Boss is way too much to handle if that knockwave doesn't hit the mark like it did earlier. Grand Entrance going to find some verticality, but the rest of AFB aren't quite there to follow up, so they'll be fine, but the base will not be.
I mean, they have so much damage, and look, verticality's left out.
Verticality's recall was canceled. Brash and Holes are back up in 15 seconds. All Steve Jackson has to do is stop the recalls. Flash forward comes through onto Decker with nowhere to go. Fortnite gets the kill, and with the recalls canceled from the side of Steve Jackson, that gives Avenue. Akuma Final Boss needs to finish off this game, to finish off the series 3-0 with the sweep, sitting their season 17-0 in game score.
They were doing so good.
They were.
Why would you choose to fight it right then and there? Man,
yeah,
that's heartbreaking. That is genuinely heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah.
Anyways, Akuma Final Boss, I mean, they get it done in 3. Like, expected outcome I talked about. But there were a lot of slip-ups in that last game that cannot be like a hubris thing. Those were some little dents in the armor of Akuma there. Still a dominant series overall, right? The strength here for sure was their bot lane, I think, in general. Fortnite had a really rough series. I mean, a really rough series, all 3 games. In this game, I would even go as far as to say, like, he was kind of a liability on the Anivia. So maybe that's something teams can exploit, right? Because Decker had no issue getting a lead all 3 games in mid. So well played to Decker, at least, but Akuma Final Boss, I mean, they're just such a strong team. Upchuck gets behind in this game and just keeps farming in the side lane.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, LZI let him do it, right? Like, they let this Gwyn just go untouched for so long. They're like, yeah, let's get this Gwyn behind early, and then once a certain point in the game, they just let her farm in the side lane for free. Pushing towers by herself, getting free plate gold, just farming as much as she wants. But yeah, overall, well played to Akuma Final Boss. They're moving on to semifinals here. Not sure against who just yet, because I don't think that series been decided. So can't really report on that. But congrats to Akuma, and hopefully they continue to stay undefeated.
Yeah, that we'll obviously see going into next week. But for now, that'll be it from us here on the Titan Immortal League broadcast. I've been Isaac. Alongside me has been Ozzy, running things behind the scenes. It's been Shivam, and from everyone at Titan, we wish you a very pleasant good night.